kind of Liquid likes to turn up at an event. Sometimes we've seen them fall flat a little bit. Some of the online leagues, we've seen them absolutely decimate people ridiculously. This time around, though, we're seeing Liquid. This is tournament Liquid. They're playing the best PUBG so far that we've seen them in a while, but this is only game number 3. We've literally just started.
It's day 1. I mean, this is a scary thing. We all know what Faze is like, for example. They are always the the comeback kings, and it is going to be haunting a couple of these teams, I can imagine, in the back of their minds. But regardless of that, we're just going to see how the dust settles after day 1. There's a lot of statements being made, and a lot of teams kind of making impressions very early on as to who wants to be the front runner here. There's nothing being held back anymore. We theorized, we crafted ideas of, are they showing everything when we're on the the smaller phase of this and the online portions? Now there's no holding back. Now you can't afford to hold anything back. You're with the big dogs here. These are the guys who qualified through such a long run, and you get to this point.
You've got to remember when we've done through several rounds of qualification online, there's always been those 5 places that are going forward. All right, a couple of them squeaked in due to some little changes here, there, and everywhere. But now it's not about the money. It's about 3 places. That's all there is. Only 3 of these teams out of 20 can go forward to Berlin. And when you get to Berlin, there is $2 million.
It's not bad, is it?
I mean,
it's not bad, is it?
When you grow up, your mum and dad, what do you want to do? When you go, I want to play video games. There's no money in that.
Well,
bull.
Look at it now.
There is a lot of money in it nowadays, and it's fantastic to be able to see. And game number 3, she's live. You saw the plane coming down, started up at the north, headed down south, straight split through the middle of the map. So you would have thought everybody will be able to find their home territory rather easily.
Yeah, pretty much. Eastern Circle pops in. We can just take our time and see who kind of maybe switches things up, if anyone's going to be something surprising. So far, so good. I'm not really seeing too much difference. I'm curious how Faze do in this. I'm wondering how they get there. There's always a lot of that kind of jostling towards that southeast side. So that could be a fun one to keep eyes on. But beyond that, obviously the Western teams are sitting there going, cool, love that circle. But again, you guys at home, if you are watching, if you're wanting to let us know your thoughts on the matchups and who you think is going to do well and who's outstanding to you so far, just get on Twitter, #PGI2018. Easy. Just get involved.
How have you been finding the metas and the guns switching up? Obviously, we've had a few changes here and there and everywhere. Any specific kind of metas you're looking forward to seeing? Yeah?
Just give me the M24 into play.
It's changed things up a little bit. I think especially with the losing the level 3 helmets so much.
That meta change made me so happy. Yeah, I love seeing that coming back in because it was the I say AR meta. It was for a while. I mean, you'd kind of double stack it, right? You'd have either a 4.16 and a SCAR, one you put on single tap with a nice vert, and you'd be better off than having a Kar 98. So for me, I'm happy seeing it being a little bit more specified to role. I think that's really exciting to see, and I think we're seeing more specialists coming through who really excel when they have that sniper rifle or they get that kind of DMR. And I love seeing that ability coming in. So for me, I think that's really exciting. We'll see if that actually plays any sort of aspect into the game, though.
To speak of a larger picture, there was an update that it came in with patch number 14, which I think is a slightly modified version that we are playing on. But one of the comments in that was increase world spawns of DMRs. Now, I think that's gone rather underrated in this bigger terminology of these level 3s no longer being readily available. Been a long-distance man's kind of game. We're talking about the 7.62 meta that came through with patch number 12. The fact that you've got SLRs, the fact you've got minis, the world spawn of them's increased, but the damage multiplier increase that we got from that patch 12 as well, it's pretty much turned everything on its head. You've got, like you said, your riflemen now are absolutely key to winning battles. All right, when you get up close and personal, you have to be able to take your battles, which we've seen, towards that final circle. You need to work together, you need to get the spawns, you need to be able to split it between it and go for where you're going to be approaching the fight, so to speak. But it's a long-distance man's game these days. Yeah,
no, it absolutely is. It's changed it up. And you'd throw your mind back not too long ago. Let's say you guys at home only watch the bigger tournaments, right, when they roll around. You don't have the time to watch all the online leagues. You don't see that meta shifting slowly but surely. And you'll be thinking, God, there's a lot of minis coming back in. That thing was dropped. That was not looking so hot for a long time. Now it is key to this.
So you got the damage multiplier on that bad boy. And obviously then you had the recall recovery rate, which was the more important thing because you can't spam it. But being able to at least tap fire down.
2-3 shots come in real handy.
Laying people across map is ridiculous.
Yeah. So far so good. No one's really had too much to worry about. Everyone's kind of got their decided spots. Faze did make it around. We got to see them in the boat, kind of taking their time towards Milta. Beyond that, it's all looking okay. No one looks completely pushed out of position. I think everyone's getting what they relatively need.
Problematic issues could occur if you're going to be going more towards the northern edge of that circle. It depends where people want to come in. If you want to take the Yasnaya bridge, you might have Liquid you've got to deal with. Obviously, Liquid, they do know they've got another team in there in the form of Wizards. They're going to be sharing Yasnaya. I think on one of the broadcasts we did, Scoob were like, nah, we don't share this. Yeah. This is a one-team kind of place. Unfortunately, Scoob, it's not. For these qualifiers and for many other ones, it's going to be a two-team, so they have to deal with them, but they've been dealing with them pretty well. I mean, back-to-back wins, that is no easy feat, and you can't say enough how good it is. Going forward, being able to build points and bank points early on, it then gives you the kind of a backup plan if you do fall, if you do trip, if you do get that 20th place in one of the games, because PUBG, anything goes and anything can happen. In
the nicest way, and I think we all know that. The main ability in this game at the moment is managing RNG. And people think, well, how do you do that? I mean, it's about, it is minimizing the RNG factor. It's simple as that, and Liquid are very good at that. I think we're seeing that becoming a factor. I think Faze play a dangerous game. They leave it a little late in the day to kind of turn it on, but when they do, they're there. But still, you look at the other teams, you could say the same thing about them. But for me, Liquid are doing wonderfully. Let's have a little look at this crate. What do we have coming through to start with? I'm still a fan of the MK. I think it's gone a little unloved these days because of obviously the sniper adjustments. You know, you look at the SKS in comparison or something along those lines, it doesn't supersede it massively. Range-wise, I think it's still superior.
One of the things I've caught for a few players doing, and I have done it myself since watching them on stream, you got to remember that gun has a fully automatic system. Yep. You can put it on full auto. It's 61 per bullet. Yep. It's 7.62. You can actually stick a sniper, an SLR, anything on your back.
Very versatile.
You can literally put the red dot on the MK and use it as you can breach buildings with a 61 power weapon.
It's not bad.
It's disgusting.
Did you see Shroud? Did anyone ever watch Shroud? Just baiting in chat, obviously. Yeah.
Kappa.
Why the heck? No, it's like if you watched him do it, I think he was one of the earlier players who obviously is notable. Everyone's tried it at some point, but he made it count. And you see the recoil and thing. Like, don't get me wrong, it's got damage, but you got to be able to control that bad boy. It kicks. It kicks. It's a bit of a mule, but you watch his arm when he pulls the recoil down. It moves. But if you can do that, very versatile gun. So it's nice to see that into play. Happy with that one, and I think everyone knows it by now. But the 3-3 supplement is always the big storyline with that.
Rotations will begin to pull in there. You can see a couple of
well.
fair few of them hitting the boats, hitting the wall. They're going to make their way across. At the moment, it's going to be who we got on that opposing side. So we've got Grow Up. A couple of their members will be straggling behind, but not too far. Primorse Ferry, where they've been looting since then. Rogue, they're going to go across a little bit earlier, obviously getting punished from the previous round. They'll now be aware that that's a possibility. Penta doing the exact same again. You want to come across here, Rogue? We're just going to kill you. So go elsewhere, my friends. Where they go is the interesting one. They've got plenty of time so they can do this. If they're going to trek along the edge of the water, go all the way up north. If you really wanted to, you could come in at Kameshki.
Yeah.
It's a long rotation, but it's doable. You can see Rogue, they're actually sharing boats two different ways. Because in the middle, you've got Atlantis. Atlantis taking Novo. They're going to kind of put down some shots. But once again, we've still got this engagement going on between Knights and Method. They did cop for each other earlier on.
Yep.
That's going to be... Andy does back away from the vehicle as he takes out the tyres, but it's going to be Raffi who's taking out both Frozza and Gavin.
Yeah, that's a big pickup early on. The SMGs, we know they can do work, and we're seeing the Vector there being put into the spotlight. So not surprising that being the case. I'm curious where that went down, though, where they've been able to find each other. I can't quite see that. But again, it's early games. It's early days. A lot of this is being caught in rotations, or maybe at a push of seeing a couple of breaches coming in. I'm going to spray on the way. That's a good connection, though. That Scar, it's a little bit back in action. I mean, it's not quite the Sanok beast that they put in, but it'll do. It's not been completely ruined. I'm glad. Thank you for, returning my baby back to its glory.
I mean, what did it get? It was the reduction in horizontal and vertical recoil. So, yeah. I mean, when you tried shooting that thing, it was just all over the place. When I have to patch,
can someone maybe just copy and paste Richard's impression there over the top? Actually, come back to that because we're seeing it live right now. Beautiful work from him, catching him on the rotation.
Oh, that's them gone.
Really good angle, and I think, yeah, indeed, that is a team down. That's the first team caught on rotations, good positioning on the hills. I mean, but that's also bad luck sometimes. You call it what it is. Good shots from him, but for the other team, you had to rotate, you picked your poison, and you get picked up.
I'm sorry, but when you call yourself Redzone, you're asking for it. You're absolutely asking for it, and they're the first team. Unfortunately, that will be leaving us. Thankfully, Frozza doesn't actually flip in a vehicle and kill the rest of his teammates. Nevertheless, he's down and out. So 76 players will remain on Erangel. Chris, they know exactly where he is. Method, in a couple of previous rounds, we've seen them trapped inside, maybe squished between several teams. Fawn over here from back to Zharki. They will have the compound. They can just chill, but they've got the 2-2 split. You can just see the compound in the distance, so they'll happily chill for now. Don't really have to move. They've got the vehicle, it's behind the wall, the tyres are safe. If you do wonder why people park them inside, take the bikes inside the houses, you think, oh, what's this guy doing? Why don't you just bail and run for it? Simple factor. You keep the vehicles, you keep the utility, you can stay mobile. Keep moving, keep doing what you want. Teams will go for those tyres.
Oh, yeah.
And
Smart.
I do like the fact that they get a big jump when they burst now.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can actually, it's worth aiming for the tyres to try and pop them, to try and flip them. That buggy will fly for a mile if you clip the tyres.
Yeah, it's a lot different from when you saw it a long time ago now. Once that change came in, I think people really realized what you can do with that. And honestly, with people parking things in the buildings, I just hope it's like, you know, role-playing. That's what I hope for. I hope it's, you know, when you drive really safely in like GTA, when you're like, I'll just stick to the speeds and stuff. Like, I was really hoping
behind you just
yeah. Sorry, officer. But overall, we can get back to the action because this could be a breach here. This is a bit dangerous from Chris. I mean, I don't know how. He's very alone as well. I don't see any of his teammates beside him, so he's going to get audio cues pretty soon. He knows where they are. He's found a nice angle to approach from. 2-2'd up, a bare minimum. 3 bag on the back, and the AK, we know that thing can shred. But did he get spotted? He does now. Nice little jiggle peek on the corner. Doesn't give too much away, but he's outnumbered here. They can always trade him. That's the scary part. Trying to isolate one of the 3-4 players. You're praying out a nade or a flash or something because they're so viable now, but I don't know what he can get out of this because look at who's coming around the corner.
He's going to test the patience. One's going to go on there. Heavy flank behind, and that's an easy pick up there for Aros Wizards. 15 points in the bag. Method, they unfortunately lose Chris, one of their big fraggers, their big hitters. Big fan, do a lot of duos with him. The man can absolutely snipe. But Method, unfortunately, they will lose him from game number 3. Looking further afield towards the prison area. Lo and behold, we got Faze. Quite a few times we'll see these guys just hovering around the rock side. And another not surprising issue, Fuzzface with a sniper.
Always scary, doesn't matter what he's got on it. Iron sights, doesn't matter, terrifying.
Kill him.
I want to see Liquid's position as well, 2-2'd up. A lot of the teams going for 2-2s here. Again, real estate. It's not free in this one. It's not the meme, but we are going to be seeing Knights again. Really, they're in a lot of action early on. This will give FaZe, I guess, you know, a bit of a heads up too. That's a scary thing. That's only across the way in prison. They'll hear this. They'll know that 2 teams are around, so they can now maybe try and, you know, train their attention towards it. That mini with a suppressor 4 times, really complementing this. But you can see the gear is not perfect. That level 1 can be ripped off pretty quick here.
Texas is one of my kind of players. I'm a big fan of how
he came on really well as well.
Like how you see him just pure regret. It's not actually pure aggression. But he's not afraid to A, go for a fight, B, pick a fight, or C, even take a fight. Like if one does kind of prompt himself, he won't just bail for it, try and smoke, run away. It's like, all right, boys, if you fancy a bit, let's rock and roll.
No, I was really impressed with him during the online portion of this, how well he performed, and kind of the scouting ability and the firepower that I guess kind of came along with that. It was very nice to witness. And as I theorized, we are seeing FaZe keeping tabs on this team. Whether or not they engage, it looks like they are. Not afraid to kind of try and keep territory either. That's something you've got to keep in mind. Some of these fights aren't necessarily with the intention fully to engage in 100% of a fight. It might just be to show area dominance, to try and ward teams away and keep them relatively respectful of this, because now the other team knows they're pinched. Now they know that they've got Knights beside them, they've got FaZe coming back, and now you put Fuzzface into this. You're switching in another player who has that 4 times, who has the Car 98. He can play this hill. It's a nice little deflate off the back. You're still in control of the angle and how much you're showing. Didn't quite catch the player there. I think the scope just occluded him, but he does catch a glimpse. We'll see if he does deliver a shot here. He's actually being warded off as well. Again, very careful on the line of sight and the angles that they're willing to peek on. He's got a nice little tree to play off, which we'll use now. But a lot of long-range fights coming in, also showing just like, hey guys, don't come around here. It's, you know, we've already got this compound, we've got this area, not for you.
So he gets his 1 shot off there, and now he's going to run back, and that's mainly because obviously you'll see Hexate, Mexate, they'll move up. They've got the M4. They'll take a few shots. It's kind of a bait and switch tactic. You then send Fuzzface up. They kind of say, "Oh, it's all right. He's only got an, he's only got an AR. Well, we can see what we can do off this. See if we can get a pick ourselves." Lo and behold, to them though, he's got a Car 98 in hand. Now he'll back off from this one. The warning shots have been laid down, as you mentioned, kind of area dominance, so to speak. I think it's a little bit smaller mind, but I think that's an M24 knock coming on to Maraku. Welcome to South George. Unfortunately, welcome to. Fighting the dirt, my friend. Unfortunately, he's going to be losing his helmet to that one. So the M24, all right, it did get a little bit of a nerf. It's gone down from 88 damage a bullet down to 79. But with the multipliers, with everything else, it's still one of the, if not the most strongest sniper rifles bar the AWM. If you find that bad boy on this map, you are bound to put people in coffins because it's such a nasty, nasty weapon. But
Absolutely.
again, the downside to it, if there was a downside, is the loudness.
Yeah.
The sound it makes when it goes off, it's just like, okay, the dinner bell's ringing.
Yeah, don't come around here. It's like the old Lee Enfield in DayZ, you know what I mean? No one's shooting that in Cherno because you're just in trouble. But it honestly, put a suppressor on that thing though, and it is the best sound in the world to me.
It's so weird.
It's just like a yeah,
it's really weird, isn't it? You always know what it is like. That's a silence 24.
Yeah,
all right.
Let's go somewhere else.
Heads on a swivel, boys.
Yeah, here we go. Let's see that next circle hit as well. This could put a couple of noses out of place. Northeast, eastern side, a lot of teams there going to have to work their way forward, and there's not that much hard cover in the essence of buildings. Terrain becomes something they can be looking at, which there is a couple of nice defilades, but there's already teams here. That south side, plenty available. That hill might get considered from some of these teams, going from the eastern side, try and make a swing around there quick. Again, though, a lot of these teams are going to be making their moves fast, and bear in mind, Faze isn't in the circle either. They're watching the other teams rotate very early on, but you're loving that 4-1-6 with that vert grip. That just makes it just bounce perfectly.
Northern edge of this circle could become very, very busy. 1, 2, 3, 4 teams currently eluding on the edge. 2 of them do still have to move in. You've got Wizards, we have Singularity, we have Flames. They've all got to come down from the hillside, from Yasnaya. And there's going to be a full wave just sat, chilling, waiting. Wizard are already in. We've got Liquid. We say that, they appear on the screen. Singularity
nice
go flying by. They've been doing well. All right. I'm not going to take anything away from them because to get 2 wins back-to-back is a massive effort.
They've got the Faze circles.
They did. They've been shouting G-Core, 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 and lo and behold, they've just appeared. But even so, and this is kind of talking like when we look back to Game 1, you saw, Scoom's one of the IGLs on this. He's the one who'll be pulling the shots, telling them where to go. They went all the way to the west. Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. They had a hard shift to the opposing side, but they still dealt with it.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Again, they're very good at dealing with bad hands if they get given them. And we are seeing a long swing from a couple of teams. I think Wizards just racked up a kill there. That could be on towards the Copenhagen Flames. And, well, Faze now getting ready to pounce. They're going to be trying to pincer in towards the Knights. And Cram already going down is problematic. You see Gemty there laying down a couple of bullets, but warded off as well. Faze not having an easy time, but look at this positioning coming from Muxy. Up above, should have an angle on this. He might have issues if he gets spotted out too quickly, but he's going to be able to get the kill. Comfy on that one, and now they can gatekeep. They can be a real nuisance to this team because look at the positions that they hold.
Touching on the kill feed, Van 15 points there for WTSG. I also saw Jeems with a steal. One player from Alliance got knocked. He came in, mopped that thing up. WTSG, though, back-to-back kills. 30 points will fall in their way. Talzera goes down, and now look at this kill feed. It's starting to illuminate as the circle does begin to push people together. Look at all those grenades. They're just trying to decide how to take this fight. Both teams to the side of the defilade, but that grenade is found. That's a belter.
No, it absolutely is. There's very limited split potential here as well. Look at the terrain. It doesn't really allow you to do the 2-2 splits or find a, I guess, dominating angle off the back of this because they will have the terrain advantage holding the peak above, so you'd silhouette first. So they can't really engage unless they can redefine it with smokes or flashes that are so viable these days, which they might want to go on. They know they need to kind of do something about this, otherwise you're always teetering on that edge of, we can't peek anywhere, we're completely passive in this situation. Uh-oh. Ooh, he's being kept humble about this. Has to put his head down towards the ground. Find a bit of cover. That could have been Liquid.
Oh, no, sorry. It's 17's outside, so that's going to be Faze still on them as they do approach in. Voxic goes down again from Knights, so Faze doing an awful lot of damage here to the Pittsburgh Knights. I think that's 2, potentially even 3 people now they've removed from that team. 68 are alive. We still got this battle going on, but Wizards, Flames, look at them. They're all just pincered in, and all of a sudden Ibby's on the team. T-Bone hits the deck.
Yeah,
this could be a big one.
They've got to be so careful here. That gear isn't perfect regardless. You can see it's a little bit Ooh, don't do that. We're on the way anyway with the buggy. They need to now swing around. They'll probably take a lot more blue damage because of this. They might have to go all the way around. I don't know where they're going to go. That's the thing. They're in a real issue because look how many teams there are and how dense this area is going to be. There's almost no, I guess, compounds here. You're still seeing Ibby getting kills. I think that was just the confirmation of the kill that he knocked earlier. That aside, though, everyone's going to have to crunch into this, and there's very little room to be playing for anymore. So there's going to be a big wave of kills coming to this circle because there's not enough places where teams can sit comfortably anymore. Who's in this currently? You're looking at Liquid still have at least a side of that hill to play off, which is very, very powerful. But otherwise, look at that road. It's the flood of colors.
Second person there, unfortunately, from Flames. We'll drop to the end. 24 Move across to Ghost's POV, Scar in hand. Atlantis, they are on the rotation. They'll take a lot of damage from that 5.56. Again, third time unlucky for Flames. Another victim of the M24. The Wizards are just holding them back. I think they've got a hut in the middle of the field, so not a lot of real estate to play with.
That's a great spot from Blank as well. That's one of the strongest, I guess, defilators at this point. You have a very wide open area where you have to be very mindful of, but your back has that hill beside it, so unless you get breached on, they really commit and they know that position, which could happen, or you get picked apart, which also could happen. But we can come back to that because look at this fight. We've got Alliance very much creeping the bottom of that hill. Samty with that DP up above. Has to go on the reload. 41 bullets, clearly not enough here, but still has the mini to supplement too. But two players that can be just so, dying to get into this, chomping at the bit, but that blue's going to move them up soon. And you can see Samty so aware. A couple of shots could be coming in. It's very easy to close on those reels. Hatch actually found Ibby, so now they need to respond. Ibby's actually been killed as well. They confirmed that. They are not going easy on this one, but with the blue on their back, Alliance need to make the moves. But that's a good angle again. Samty forced off it. He can't take this fight. You don't want to risk that. Move up, move around, find a new way to fight this, because Skoom is so ready on this too. Jeem's prowling around as well. They know there's a time limit on how dangerous Alliance can be. They have to move soon.
Flames still taking damage in the kill feed. Currently, we are fixated on this one. Jeems with the left and right. We'll try and drop a few bullets again, just kind of bringing down a fair bit of dominance. But we move across to Elgiganten, I think it is.
I'll leave you to that.
It's actually Electric Giant, apparently, in Danish. So there you go. I can go with the English version.
There we go. I like that.
Drayden, MK14 in hand. So the Knights, they've actually got themselves a nice care package there. That'll be level 3'd up as well for getting the crate. And I think Moonwolf may have just dropped to 19th.
Samty finds the timing so well on the move. Jeems is aggressive as well. They were kind of supporting each other. One holds the angle in case they were going to try and peek up from that slightly deeper side. But no, they've really cost them a lot here. And you have to see Reels with that question in mind. Do I go for the revive? Do I have time? Do I get peeked again? But look at this over here. It's Method now in a bit of a predicament. 80 does get down, Pony Rider. But Method just about staying alive. That was hectic as hell. But they do hold on. 17 teams still in this. 57 players alive. Liquid will eventually have to work their way around as well. Alliance did get off the revives. Alliance just being a real pest here.
My little northern friend, Sigzy, from down the road in Huddersfield. He does stay alive to fight again another day, but potentially maybe not for these two. They lose their helmets back to back. Crawling, begging for help. Please, res me, my friends. They are inside. They need to be careful of that window because clearly snipers do have eyes on them. Liquid will be just on the edge. They will be inside, so they absolutely know. Well, saying that, no, I'm about to say Alliance need to push them, and they don't. They can just run the edge of heaven. Just keep out the way, to be honest with you, because dipping on here, as soon as you poke up, your head's going to be in range. It's not good.
But the problem, like, they're kind of, I hate to say it, screwed regardless. It's as much as they are safe to a degree down there, they're at the mercy of when Liquid want to peek them. They have Peeker's advantage. I know you don't like peeking over lips like that because all you show is the helmet, so obviously you're a quick kill no matter what you're against. But again, you don't want to have a team completely defining what you're going on. But now we can look at what positions we have here. This is a lot of potential third partying coming in. Who gets what angle? Penta, curious positioning, bit of cover there, but you can see it depends on a tiniest amount of, I guess, terrain coming through. And the circle does have a little bit of a edge towards the southern side, but it's not a big problem apart from the teams towards the north. Wizards, bit of an issue. Liquid on the move. Alliance get a bit of respite. They're going to try and catch one on the way, but for now it's just Reels laying down the fire. They have made it, I guess, this, to a bit of safety. Alliance need to move themselves as well, maybe try and take this moment as Liquid get a lot of attention. Jeez, what? He just goes past, hits one. All right, oh my god. Oh my god, the dodge.
And that's his body. Bye-bye. But the LMG could do damage to Samty. That carries smoking, so they're going to get out and bail now, because if that thing goes off, they're all in kinds of danger. Those vehicles are going to be tanked up to hell, which is generally what you see when people start to run the gauntlet with these rotations. The smokes are going to be there. They're going to at least be able to get themselves back. Unfortunately, though, for Cypher, Phaser, excuse me, not Cypher, Phaser will just be sitting. And how he didn't get run over again, I'll never know.
That was amazing. Those moves. Just so smooth.
You kind of fixated on trying to maybe answer back a bit. It's like, well, there's more vehicles. I probably didn't expect to see that many at this point in the game. It's going to be a difficult one for Method. All right, they're safe for now. They are inside the circle. But as soon as they get out, I think they've got about 3 teams facing them. All right. They lost Chris earlier on, so to at least still keep 3 alive going into this one. 3 alive here for Liquid. I'm not entirely sure who does actually have 4 still remaining. Wizards I can see straight away.
I think
Atlantis, Penta, yeah, you did mention.
time.
The Grow Up also have 4. So fair few teams going into this one. 49 alive, still 16 teams. And we are seeing this. I think we'll see this throughout the entirety of this weekend. People staying alive all the way until the late game.
I think these teams are so experienced now. They play the circle so well. They try and keep the threats to a, I guess, manageable amount. But you can see this compound being tested from 2 angles. You not only have the people on the same sort of level, but third party comes in. Grow Up in the back lines, actually helping out this team right here. You can see the knock coming through. That is wonderful for them. I don't know if Gaxi knows it, but he's going to find out pretty soon that you've got a bit of an angel watching over you somewhere.
I love the AKM on the back door. Just that's kind of a door you don't want to, a knock you don't want to answer, so to speak. If that had gone in, that'd have been incredible. Gaxi's going to go for another one, so he can at least aim it a little bit higher. Meanwhile, Miraku and Larson working on Walter. He's down and dead. And he gets the nade as well, so it went through. They've got another knock. They could potentially wipe this team.
It's basically down to this one man. Rolsey gonna have to make something happen for himself here. In the smoke he goes.
I've seen him.
This is smart. This is nice. This is a bit naughty, but on the back lines, on the flank. Oh, the tree is done, you Rolsey. Unaware, unsure, tries to get to cover, but surely in the heels. He's going to die here. No, he's managing to stay alive. And now the other team's just falling in towards him. Miraku's going to get back through the window, and there it is. Eliminated, executed, its job done. Scoob, in the meantime, has been getting a couple of kills. We are seeing WTSG holding onto that compound, even while being breached.
Welcome to South George. What a name. They've got a little tagline as well. I think it's like, we have a lovely beach and a nice bridge. It's great.
Nice.
It's even on the logo and everything.
Nice.
Liquid, still chilling down. All tanked
Rogue
up. They're going to get the stims on, get to 100 HP. Still putting down smokes, making sure that nobody can actually get some really long distance shots on them. They're probably blowing those vehicles up themselves and step back so they don't cause any kind of damage, but here comes the push from behind. This
is the third party incoming in. We discussed methods, problems, and their benefits, but with this circle shift, they can be the ones pushing these teams forward. Grow Up and out in between a rock and a hard place. You've got Penta and forward of them, you've got Method behind them, and they've just got a dip to run through. They need to make up their minds as to what they can get done here. Moleman just sprays him wildly, trying to get maybe some shots to connect, some suppressing fire. Grow Up now need to dig their heels in and try and hold on to this, because they know that Method need to come their way to a degree, but it depends on the timing. There's still a team behind Method as well, so timing is everything in this game. Moleman, nice control on the Scar.
Disgusting.
But no kills to be coming through here. Nades are paramount, and that nade could be problematic for this young man.
That's a third party. And he's been knocked from behind. That's Miraculous. That's going to do them dividends here. They could push on this.
Look at this play. Grow Up just going to take that as like, all right, let's do this. We got to go now. We need to alleviate this pressure from this pressure point coming through. And simplest, that is incredible play from him. Really smart approach. He does spot 1. He might spot 2. He's going to take his time. This is so nice. Please tell me you've got the aim to back this up. And he does indeed. Grow Up tearing up the opponent's Method down and out and looking worse for wear. And Grow Up hold on to this. Faze is trying to light up the kill feed as well. But for now, that's a play you've got to be proud of.
Simplest gets the call, runs for it. Absolutely fantastic. 3 down, back to back to back. Method, they're gone, they're dead. Hexetido in the kill feed, you wouldn't expect any less. One player from IB.
That nade.
Hits the car.
How is he alive? How does he get away with that? I do not know, but Blank aren't looking too bad themselves either. Nice positioning, a little tunnel vision for now, but there isn't too many threats until that team towards the southeast of them really comes into the matter, but they're going to try and move on this. Grow Up hot on their heels, though. They want a bit of the action here. Gemty is finding players. WTSG as well, finding a couple of Liquid boys. I'm not sure how Liquid are looking in this. There's only 8 teams alive.
2 players still up. They'll probably leave Jeems for now unless they get some kind of respite, but as you see, Samty does have the info, just needs to be really careful which way he looks from. You got Larson directly in front of him, but swinging to his left and right. 2 more players. Here comes Vav, though. If they don't see him, they do. Samty, he sits there with the DP. Confirms the kill at least to get the 15 points off. Now it all comes down to Scoom. Takes a bullet to the brain. Liquid, they're out in 8th place. But with 2 back-to-back chicken dinners, we'll see if that can change the position of the table at the moment. Faze were hot on their heels with Exhete playing a vital role in that staying alive, but now it comes down to 7 teams, 20 players remaining.
Yeah, we've got to look towards Faze as well in this one, and Blank up against them, who are all within that kind of considered to do well spot. You are seeing a bit of a trade out coming between them as well. Not sure what the terrain they're working with here. Fuzzface does have a bit of a defilade, but his teammates are being picked up. Lockwood's punishing. Now, I'm curious as to how this unfolds, because you've got Penta being a bit of a third party as well. There's a lot of issues, and when that blue starts to move, they're both in trouble.
Look at this, though. Hexete just on the flank. Takes it left, knocks one. In fact, it's a finish. MBS takes the bullet. Fuzzface comes in, finds Lockwood. So they're just mopping people up left, right, and centre. 10 kills on the board. I love how we just both noticed at the same time.
Jump away.
It's incredible. That's the third.
Make it 11.
Wipe the team. you just see how they spread out to It's
now,
amazing.
This is big. Look how much room that's opened up for Faze. They could walk into Rogue, sure, that's the next big thing, who are also being very greedy on circle space. They want that. Got 3 big positions, but WTSG try to face Penta, and they suffer for it. 5 teams now remain. It's getting pretty hot. And Penta still have a lot of players alive, all 4 standing. Not as many kills as Faze, for example, but that's beyond the point. Now Rogue are engaging towards Faze. That southern push has become paramount. How do Faze deal with this? You got Gemty on the eastern push, going to try and get a line of sight, maybe alleviate some of that pressure, work off this defilade to deny the line of sight that they might be holding currently, but I don't know what angles they're working with. And the blue on their back, they've got to move now. Penta as well in such a good spot here. Gemty has taken his time. This is what you call cool, calm and collected under pressure. When he delivers, he needs to know that he gets the kill.
Tap, tap, tap. No connections just yet, but all of a sudden, he gets the call from his teammate. They need some help. He looks swing straight across. He might have just helped him out from knocking there, but giving himself
what?
up. Excuse me.
Hello? They just came in with a car? Do you mind, Fuzzface? What do you think you're doing? How have they just done that?
Omega lol. Omega. As
Rogue
if he
still
just...
have players alive, keep in mind. So it's not over yet, and they actually have themselves in the circle, but Penta is starting to get a little bit anxious. They want in on the action. They've got 4 players. They want some real estate. Treat yourself, boys. Get a little bit of something. Because at the moment, they're looking like they want to deny Faze and Rogue, deny that side of the circle. They've got into a position to do exactly that, raining fire from above. But you don't get away with it easily here. This isn't the little leagues. This is the big leagues, and these boys punish if you turn around. Let's see if they can get any shots from above, though. They're being very cautious. You can see that peak in there going for very, very reserved, because even Rogue is still firing on all cylinders, but finally they get put down. Now, that's helped out Faze. Little do they know that. They know Faze are around somewhere, but I don't think they know exactly where they are. Now, Gemty has gone down.
That's what they need to be very careful of. At the moment, they don't. I don't think they know exactly where Faze are. They've been so fixated on Rogue. They've actually just completely looked over Faze. They're just sitting down in this ditch. They might have heard the vehicle earlier on. But this becomes very, very problematic. As soon as they come over this hill, they need to make sure they kill these guys that are below them, because Hexete, Fuzzface, these are the guys that will clutch. AKM in hand. I think that's a scar on the backbone as well, potentially, if I'm seeing it correctly. No, it's an M4, excuse me. Okay. But Hexete with an AKM, up close and personal, he's going to do so much damage.
Okay, so let's look at the terrain we have here. Faze can hold the lip of that hill and deny the pushover. There's a little dip between them and Rogue. Now, the problem is, Faze have no easy route. Penta will probably push over this way at some point, I can imagine. And then they'll have a fight, and the third party becomes an issue with Rogue. Now, Rogue are only down to 1 man. He's going to try and just stay alive. That's as simple as it is. He's in the circle. He doesn't want any of this. But then you've got the other team in towards the north. Now, they could be a spoiler to all of this. They could play it slow. You can see it. Look at this.
Individual players. It's whether or not Faze, even as a one-man band, with an LMG up this close and personal, he could potentially wipe these 2 guys out.
Yep.
On Elgiganten if they don't look his way. It all comes down to this initial fight. Who's going to make the first push? Rogue don't have to do anything. The solo player can just chill for now. And that's exactly what he wants to do. He can't do anything against these teams. 2 versus 1, 3 versus 1.
Who's going to spoil what we do? Oh, the fight's actually... This is perfect for Rogue and Faze. They're fighting right now. Now, you can see this is a good bit of, I guess, mental check to keep tabs on that little bit of a dip, because they know there's potential for players. And this is them. Can they get away with it? Can Faze somehow be the ultimate snacks? They are working their way up, and they could, in theory, chase Penta's heels. In theory. He's gone for the fight. That could be a mistake now. He could be punished for this one. He had to make a move. He decided when it was, used the last bit of that smoke to try and find a bit of cover. They've still put down another. This isn't bad. Everyone's so tentative. Everyone's so scared. Fuzzface, he's dancing. He's trying to get back into this. He might have to die to the blue if he does want to deny the points. But here comes Savage. Maybe he from the back lines can make this count. That's some big kills coming in. But the blues caught him. He got tunnel visioned. We're down to 3 teams here.
Can we just appreciate that this single crossfire that just came in just put Faze into 3rd position?
Hello? We're down to Faze and Rogue. This is it. Hexete's still there. Rogue still has a player there. This is the 1v1.
Crossfire. The crossfire did it. All of a sudden he stepped up, then Elgiganten from across.
Hexete does not have a helmet, I'm pretty sure. I don't know what his vest is like. He's looking worse for wear. Fuffin's position would have been noted by now as well. So they're roughly aware of where each other are, but they don't have exacts.
He's going to give it up,
surely.
I think if he does it, then fair play to him, because he wants to deny them points.
But I mean, you don't want to count yourself out in a situation. That's not how this works. You fight for every last bit you can. I'm not having that. Let's watch him boost up. Let's see on the other. Can we go 3rd person? Let's see what he's got. Like maybe a help. Oh, okay, so he's relatively well geared still. DP, sure, it's and backpack off, true snake. So this is smart if you don't play these games often. take the backpack off. It's a lot easier to be able to be non-spotted because of that, essentially. It gives you a lower profile. Now, Hexedi has the high ground, so he could look up and over this. He could get that angle, but time is going to kick in right now. 1 second, it's go time. They've got to get to the circle. They've got to get to the center of this. It's a matter of survival, and Hexedi is looking so desperately for this. Fuffins is holding his nerve as long as he can, creeping his way forward. Hexedi, inch by inch, step by step.
Look at the lean.
Getting closer. Trying to just survey the ground in front of him.
Been laid down, though, with the
Has he seen the bag? He could be baiting on the bag as well, Fuffins. That could be the interesting element here. Hexedi could open up fire on it. He does not have sustain. He needs to deliver those bullets as they come in, and you can see them creeping ever closer.
What's so scary is just the tripod's out. Been laid down with this.
Fuffins will get the silhouette off this. Hexedi needs to move forward. He should get the silhouette. Fuffins could engage on this one. Yeah, here comes the crouch. It's going to be the move. That's great play from Fuffins. You knew that position was perfect as well. He held that little bit of an angle that meant the silhouetting would have had to have come in from the other team. Really well played in the end, considering that was one man standing for a very long time there. He was able to keep cool under pressure, but as you highlighted, that crossfire at the end, Rogue coming in, and the others, it was so many issues for Penta there. You saw them struggling.
7 kills, though. And a chicken dinner. That's exactly what Rogue needed, to be honest. We did see them not potentially playing to the best of their abilities. Obviously, in the previous round, they did unfortunately go out in 20th, but a much-needed win. It will put them back in the running here.
Absolutely, and enough from us. We can head back to the desk to break that one down fully.
So much to talk about with that last few remaining circle movements there, and ultimately a massive spoiler coming out there from Elgiganten as Rogue is able to finally clutch it out. But it feels like Elgiganten, considering their position, Penta was in such a good spot, but really kind of caused the upset there. They did.
Honestly, to me here, Elgiganten waiting to the perfect timing